All right, this is Blezard.com, and we are hanging out with Big John McCarthy, world-renowned referee from many, many promotions all over the world. And listening to you doing the referee seminar today, dude, you have got a memory that is unbelievable. You remember who fought who, when, and what city. It's amazing. How do you keep all that stuff in your head?
I always remember the things that do nothing for me in life. So I don't know. I'm just able to remember fights and what happened.
Well, you're part of the very, very first MMA event here in Ontario. It's been a long time coming, and it's happening this Saturday night at Casino Rama, MMA The Reckoning. And how important is it for you to be part of the very first one? It's kind of a proud feeling, it must be.
Well, it's an honor that I'm able to come here to the Ontario and be able to be part of it. Do they need me? I'm not saying they need me as far as they could get a lot of guys that have a lot of experience. It'd be very good doing the same thing, but I'm honored that Ken Hayashi actually gave me the opportunity to come here and to work a show that is a long time coming, and it's a good thing, and it's great for the province. It's something that there's a ton of fighters here. There's a ton of people that now are going to be able to fight in their home province or work in their home province with the sport of MMA. That it's only going to enhance this area and enhance the combative sports here.
You've been from the ground up in a lot of places where MMA was illegal, and you've seen the growth from scratch in a lot of places. So for Ontario, what do you think, not only the fans that are maybe kind of new to the sport and have only been exposed to the UFC product, but those fans and the officials in Ontario, the Athletic Commission, what kind of a role do you think you play in educating, especially for the first show?
Well, I think what I do as far as I give the ability for the commission to have somebody that's been there and done that before and has a lot of experience. So there's certain things that they're not going to have to, hopefully worry about. There's even when it comes to questions as far as other people, as far as what did the official do. People might give me a little bit more leeway than they will a younger referee that the commission is going to have to go and then try to defend. So that, and it's going to give the commission the ability to see, all right, what is it that we're going to expect out of our officials? What is it the officials should be doing? What should we be expecting them to do? How should we be expecting them to look at certain things in the fight? And so that's going to be there for the whole commission to be able to sit back and watch and get their balance and status point so when they have their officials start to take over and doing the fights here, they're going to be set in what they're expecting, and they're going to be able to go and tell someone that was exactly what I want, or what, that's not what I want. What I want is this, and have a barometer for them.
One of the misconceptions when it comes to refereeing is that you don't work for the company, you work for the place that's your license to be an official. Where so many people will watch, I'll take the UFC for example, they'll watch and they'll think that those are UFC referees. They're not.
They're not, no. And people become used to seeing people in a certain promotion, and when it's the UFC, that's the biggest promotion. I mean, it's the granddaddy of all promotions for MMA, and so when there's even officials that'll say, "Oh, I'm a UFC official," when they worked one show or something like that, and because it legitimizes them in some way, or they feel good about being able to say that, and that's fine. But no, when you're an official, you work for the commission. The commission is the one that is assigning you to the show. They're the one that you're getting paid from. That's your boss, and you're there to do a job for them. There are commissions that will ask, there's promotions that'll, want to bring certain officials at times because they believe in them and they know that, they expect to have a certain performance level, and so they'll ask to bring certain officials, and the commissions will allow that. But it's the commission that's allowing it. And so as an official, whether you're a referee, a judge, your boss is whatever commission you're working for. If I'm in the state of California, my boss is the California State Athletic Commission. When I'm in Ontario, my boss is the Ontario Athletic Commission.
What's the biggest misconception, do you think, from a fan's point of view when it comes to refereeing? There's quite a few, but what do you think is the one that you just want to set straight?
Oh, it's fans look at things in a certain way. Usually fans have somebody that they want to win. I tell people all the time, look, if you want to be popular, don't be a referee. It's just not, there's, I'll say 50% of the fans want, the fighter in the blue corner, 50% want fighter in the red corner. And if you have a say in the outcome and you end up stopping it and giving the fighter, in the red corner the victory, then everyone that wanted the fight in the blue corner says, you suck. and everyone that's in the red corner says, "Oh, you did a great job," and that's okay. But it's, what fans need to understand is why referees are doing what they're doing. Why, you'll have fans all the time, yelling from the, stands, stand them up when a fighter's actually this close to finishing a submission.
Right.
And you look and you just feel like going, you guys have no clue what you're looking at. And, they'll sit there and say, why didn't you stand him up? Because he was going to end the fight like he did. And they have a passion for one person to win over the other. Referees don't have that. Referees are only there to ensure the safety of the fighter and the rules are enforced.
So then today you did a little bit of a seminar kind of showing some of the ins and outs of refereeing, and the perspective of the referee is totally different from a fan or from a fighter. A lot of people getting into the sport for the fighting aspect of it, but is there a push from people to become referees in mixed martial arts?
Oh, absolutely. There's all kinds of people that are, going and taking classes or trying to work with officials that are working right now, or commissions, and getting their foot in the door with the commission because they want to be part of the sport, and that's great. That's the way it's done. The big thing that I say is, if that's the person you want to be, then understand what your role is, understand what you need to know. Keep working at being knowledgeable and everything that you need to know. If you're not going to be an official in this sport, I'm not saying that you should be a person that has to be able to pull off everything the fighter's doing, but you should absolutely know the exact technique that they're doing. You should know where that technique can lead. You should know what the defense is. These are the things that you as an official need to know, because you need to know, is that being applied right? Is it going to be able to finish the fight? You might want to get closer because there could be the end of the fight. If it's not being applied right, and that can't work that way, then you're not going to be coming down into the fight. You're not going to be getting yourself close because it's not going to work. And so those are the things that have to be done by officials. They have to have a knowledge of what's going on and is it being done correctly. And, just be patient. It's not everyone wants to do something and they think, oh, it's easy. And watch it on TV and they sit there on their couch and say, oh, I could do that. And then they get in the ring with fighters and they have to be the one calling, it's a little bit different than they think. And then you add a big show and you put the crowd with the pressure. There's a lot of pressure that goes with there. You have a lot of responsibilities, but that doesn't mean that the person out there can't do it. Just go about doing steps the right way. Go through their commission. Talk to if it's here in Ontario, Ken Hayashi is going to be the executive director. That's the guy that you're going to want to get in contact with and ask him what you need to do to start working your way into becoming an official here in Ontario.
So it's not as easy as just coming up with a really cool catchphrase then?
No, it's not quite that easy. Yeah, the old catchphrase thing is that's probably the last thing you need.
Very nice. Well, so the big event happening this Saturday night. What do you expect from the very first MMA show, The Reckoning, at Casino Rama in Ontario? What do you think?
I think it's going to be if you look at the card, there's some really good fighters on it. They're starting the fight off. I guess they're giving Chris Hordesky the very first fight, sanctioned in the province, which is kind of cool when you think about it. Chris is a veteran of a lot of fights, really good fighter, and comes from this area, and it's going to be neat that he gets the first fight. And if you go to the last fight, you've got Jordan Mean, who's from the Alberta province, and he's going against Josh Berkman, who's from Salt Lake City in the States. And, great wrestler, tough guy. And Jordan Mean is a guy that I've been watching since he was 15 fight men. And he is now a man himself, and he is something special. He has only gotten better, and he's going to be the guy. You're going to be seeing him in the UFC. He is that good, and it's going to be a great fight between the two.
So I guess this is just part of the explosion. This is the beginning.
It's the way it's supposed to be. And they're putting on a really quality show for the very first card here, and people are going to be able to see that, even if it's not the UFC, which is, the biggest fights there are out there, the guys that are maybe not in it or have been there still put on phenomenal fights, and fights that you're going to want to see, because there's all kinds of fights that are going on out there that are absolutely some of the best fights going on. It's not always the UFC. The UFC would love to have the best fights every time and wish they could. Sometimes they have those fights, but many times it's, the smaller promotions that have that one fight that goes off that you should have seen because it was special.
Big John McCarthy, thanks for your time, man. Appreciate it. All right. Tickets are available at Ticketmaster.ca. You can check out the big event this Saturday night. MMA, The Reckoning, happening at Casino Rama. We'll be there, so we'll have some exclusive stuff on Blezard.com and, of course, KISS925.com. So we will see you at the fights.